Have you ever had that strange feeling that you wanted to go home, but you didn't quite know where home was? You could look at your physical surroundings, and for all intents and purposes, you were home. But then again, you weren't. And you just had this peculiar longing for somewhere that wasn't here. In another one of my videos entitled Another World and Reincarnation, I talk about how I had memories that kind of stretch back to actually being in the crib as a baby. I couldn't speak, but I had the very vivid memories of looking around my room through the bars of the crib. I remember looking at the dresser. I used to have this dresser in my room when I was very young. It was an old wooden dresser, and on one of the drawers on the front, it had this smiling piggy bank with bizarre kind of yellow and green and red lines around it. I remember looking at that dresser. I remember looking at a nightlight in the outlet next to the dresser. And I remember having this feeling, just this deep feeling that I wanted to go home. There was some place that I missed, some place I wanted to get back to, and it wasn't where I currently was laying in the crib. So pretty much my whole life, I kind of felt like a stranger in a strange land in this world, particularly when I see people act very unbecomingly. I remember as a kid watching, and I mentioned this in my other video as well. My father, he used to be a bit of a drinker, and he would have temper tantrums and wreck the house, yell at my mother. When I would see things like that, or people just acting unbecomingly. I always had the thought as a kid, and I'm talking when I was 2, 3, 4 years old and onward, that that's not how we acted in the place that I came from, that other place. That we have it all wrong here. We're not acting right. We're not treating each other right. We're not interacting with each other properly the way that we should. And it's still a feeling I get all these years later. I have those moments where I just feel there's someplace better. There was something before this, and I've just watched this world kind of deteriorate over the years with the things that man has done, the things that he's doing. And it doesn't mean I'm better than anybody else. I never had that feeling. It actually makes me a little sad when I see people, you know, doing rotten things, and the politicians and the elites, and even how shallow a feeling people have become these days. It seems no one knows what loyalty is, what consideration is, what real friendship is. No one really has a real conversation anymore. People mostly talk at one another rather talking to one another. And it becomes more about what the other person wants to say about themselves than anything else. It's very seldom, if you watch a lot of people have a conversation, it's often very one-sided, and one person does a lot of speaking, the other person does little to none, because they're just cut off, they're interrupted, and the secondary party of that conversation just wants to get the needle of the phonograph right back on track, talking about them and what they did and what they want to talk about. So it's sad to see, and I get this feeling, when I see a lot of people, or even the people in politics on TV, and some of these actors and actresses that, are very egocentric, and I just get this very sad, bewildered feeling, because I could just feel, it's like I could just feel the shallowness of being the shallowness of thought and emotion emanating from these people. You know, they don't think about anything or anyone past their own little existence. Nothing and no one else matters, it seems. And when we have those kind of personalities at the helm in our countries and our nations, what kind of world are we living in? What kind of a world is it going to become? You know, and I guess we can look around and see the answer to that with the chemtrails, the earthquakes, the fissures opening, the sinkholes opening in the land. I've always said I feel all of this is connected, and all of it is connected to us, our energy, our attitude, our way of being, our way of living, our way of treating one another, and even the planet. And you know, I've noticed a lot of other people. I used to think, yeah, maybe it's me. You know, maybe I'm a little peculiar somehow to have those kind of thoughts and feelings sometimes. Like, man, I just feel kind of like an alien. I just, sometimes I feel like I want to get on a UFO and go home, wherever home may be. But I ran into so many other people over the years that have that same feeling, where they just say, I've always felt at a place in this world. I felt like I was from somewhere else. And I want to get back to that someplace else. You know, I just feel like I'm done here. And I see a lot of people in the comments, and a lot of the videos I make, a lot of people will bring that up too, where they just feel that they're pretty much gotten all they can, out of this experience, and it's time to go on to something better. And I honestly don't think it's going to be long before a lot of us go to that something better. I feel that this world is in decline. I feel this world is dying. I feel that a lot of the things that we're seeing and hearing are because of that. I think a lot of the UFOs we're seeing, some people think they're all demonic, and I think there are a number of them that are bad or evil, or the demons or evil entities as they call them. But I don't think all of them are bad. I don't subscribe to that that theory, that school of thought. I think some of them are good, and I think some of them are watching. You know, some of them are here to help. They're watching what we do, and maybe at one point they will intervene, and maybe there will be, some people believe that there will be an ascension, certain people taken aboard these crafts of light and taken somewhere else, another planet, another dimension. I can't say for sure. That's only theory, that's only speculation, but one never knows. One never knows. And one day when I feel brave enough, I'll tell you guys a UFO story that happened to me that really, really solidified this for me, that they're not all bad. There's good beings in these UFOs as well, and they're looking out for us. And I think there's a time coming when they may actually intervene. They may make themselves known, and they'll be here to help. But we do have to be careful, because there are deceptive beings out there as well. But I just wanted to touch on this. I was thinking about it today, and today was one of those days where I just kind of felt, man, I feel like a little bit of a stranger in a strange land, and I'm a little perplexed over some of the things I see the people do, see a lot of people do and say, and how they treat one another. It just doesn't seem right to me. So I wanted to make a video about this and see what you all think. I know there's a lot of people that have made comments about this, or sent private messages, saying that they too feel all this is connected, and they just feel like they're done. That not that they have Not that they're suicidal or have a death wish, but they just feel like, you know, they're done. There needs to be some kind of ascension or a moment where they're ready to depart, the mess that we're making here in this world and move on to something better. So what about you? What do you guys think about this? And how many of you out there feel, like you're a stranger in a strange land, that this is not really your home. This is a place you're occupying for, a minimal amount of time, and then it's done. So let me know in the comments below what you think, what your experiences are, and if you've had this feeling, and let's have a little bit of a dialogue about it. I'd be interested to know. I'll see you in the next upload.